Rize Mzansi's top floor is the place where entrepreneurs are given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to convince multi-millionaire business moguls to invest in their ideas.
Today I'll be looking for a 10 million rand investment, a 20% stake in my business.
Tonight, two sets of hopeful entrepreneurs go head-to-head to be awarded venture capital to enhance and evolve themselves in their businesses.
I'm going to add 200 millimeter of my oros, and then I'll add 600 of my water.
However, there is a catch. No matter how brilliant both entrepreneurs' ideas are, only one or none of them will be chosen.
We've made a decision. I want to tell you what it's based on.
Backing the investors is the advisor, a shrewd business guru who will help advise whether the wannabe entrepreneurs are investable.
You have to back the jockey. That's my biggest motivation, is backing the team, backing the jockey. A decision you guys will have to make.
Will they rise or will they burn? Amashishini asakhasayo ngawona adala imisebenzi emininzi kwaye anegalelo ekukhuleni kwezomnotho. Simeme osomashishini abenza iimillions ukuzomamela iingcinga zosomashishini abasakhasayo ukuzobanceda ukukhulisa amashishini wabo ngemali nangolwazi. Investors namhlanje nguGil noRan. Ishishini likaGil noRan, the Creative Counsel, yenza imali engangehalf ye-billion ngonyaka.
The Creative Counsel equals people on the ground activating brands, talking to consumers and convincing them to buy stuff.
My first entrepreneurial venture was when I was 3.5 years old. I learned to cut out pictures, I learned to use scissors, I cut out pictures from an old calendar and I went door to door selling these things. So entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship is in our blood.
Ingaba injani imini ukuxakeka e-TCC?
A typical day at the office, every day is different in this office. We're dealing with hundreds of different brands, hundreds of different problems, and every day we're solving problems.
So effectively, a typical day is a non-typical day. We don't have typical days. They don't exist. Every day you wake up and you think, what's in store for me today? And then the world happens.
I think we love the fact that we never know what we're walking into. Every day we're walking into something else, and whatever we think can happen, happens. So we're masters of our own destiny.
No somashishini abakudala badinga umcebisi ukude benza isigqibo esipheleleyo. uRan noGil namhlanje bacetyiswa nguJeff Miller oyinhloko yaseGrovest owabona impumelelo kwishishini lesuitcase nebag nezinye.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. My whole life has been revolves around starting businesses and developing businesses.
iGrovest inceda osomashishini abasakhasayo.
We mentor the people that we invest in, and we work with them. We sit on their boards, we introduce them to our network, and we ensure that these businesses can become a success.
Dimela kaofela sanibonani molweni bantu basekhaya ko bathanganetse khambe kanya mishumo yasho lini la ka ke Aaron Molweisi ke alamogela go Rize Mzansi gana mo top floor mo ileng gore ditoro tsa boragwebo potlana e ka ba tshelo di a phomelela one day le bona dikgwebo tsa bona di atlege mara ya tseba re seo se tla le mathatanyana go ba mararang kodi le ge ile gore mohlomongwe product ya gago ba service ya gago ke ile gore iphala tsa ba bangwe ga ntse ba le mathatanyana mara ge ile gore kopane motho a reng tšhelete se bothata tsebo ye tsele tseo ya kgobo ke na le yona se ke nyaka go se kwa fela ke gore idea ga ona le yona ke efeng go ba kgobo yo reng wa irana ke efeng mohlomongwe nka khona go thusha ene so ratse bare ke toro e khulukudu for rakgwebo potlana ba khona ke o tata namhlanje apha abathi imali ayongxaki ulwazi sinalo olunzulu apha kwezoshishini into sifuna iqha kumamela into bana aba bazi entrepreneurs bathina ithina into and then bangaba bayithandile into bayivileyo kuzangena kwingxoxo ndikhumbise into bana mnye qha ozawumenywa ba angene kwingxoxo omhlambe bobabini bangamenywa at all akahamba abambi wonke bobabini ke bama nomnye utata naye uzakwazi ba at least abe advisor nje bakuxoxwa apha at least ukunceda i-entrepreneurs into bana ekugqibeleni isivumelwano esivumelana kubo bayi-2 ibe esibana wonke umuntu uzakwazi uzuza. Gil, welcome to the top floor.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Ron, welcome again to the top floor.
Thank you for having me.
Doing great?
Yes, doing great as always.
Fantastic. Jeff? welcome to the top floor.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Ready with some hot advice, hey?
I'm looking forward to it.
Itsho into ke mntasekhaya uba ngaba uhleli ekhaya une-ID ndiyacela torhwana khawuphathe ipen nephepha ukwazi uthatha inozi because ekugqibeleni asincedi aba bantu bafika apha kuphela bazawufumana imali mhlawumbi nolwazi uba bakhulisa amashishini wabo. Nawe apha ekhaya uyakwazi uba ukwazi ukhulisa elakho ishishini ngokolwazi ozawulifumana apha e-top floor khona apha kwiRize Mzansi. Bakhona ke bazawungena baseliftini ngoku bayenyuka, but before that make sibone uba bathi nantsi intoni na. Masazi uHarif inkampani yakhe isebenza kangangoko ukusupply amanzi kwima-Afrika.
I recently completed my thesis and I focused around groundwater, and we saw there's a big gap in the market in terms of fully BEE-owned drilling companies, and we thought to ourselves this would be a great opportunity, taking cognizance of my specific skill set and the engineering firm we're working in, and that's basically how we moved into the entrepreneurship space as drillers.
Harith maikemišitšo a maka o a tšea kae?
I have this passion for groundwater and hydrogeology, which is my background. So anything really related to water resource development and helping to take this country forward in a sustainable fashion, that's where my passion lies.
A re tsebane le Ishmael, kgwebo ya gagwe ke ya go tlhabolla tša leago. O ikemišeditše go fitlhelela se bjang.
That is where petroleum companies have a shortage of bitumen on a continuous basis in South Africa. Historically, we could only access bitumen from overseas or in the local market purely on drums, and I have come up with an idea which is bulk storage as well as the transport unit.
Ingaba uIshmael uyicinge njani na le idea yakhe?
Some of the logistics individuals have identified me and asked me, Ismail, please come up with an innovative solution. Then I came up with a bulk bitumen design with innovative components. Only the Chinese was manufacturing it, so I'll be the only one in South Africa, into Africa, manufacturing this component.
Gentlemen, this is how it's going to work. They're going to give you each a minute to pitch your ideas. This is the time to give it your best shot. And obviously, they'll give you a couple of questions to clarify your pitch and your businesses and your business model. So this is the moment where they basically grill you, because there's millions of rands at stake here. Good luck.
Today I'll be looking for a 10 million rand investment, a 20% stake in my business. I've designed a bitumen box, which is a component for bitumen is a component which is in the tar, and that is a key component within the infrastructure building in South Africa. What we have for the bitumen is transporting mass bitumen versus the drums, which is the historical method of transporting it. In drums, normally they're transporting it individually. That's where at the bottom of the picture you will see they will have to manually heat it up. With our unit in the inside, you can just push 2 buttons and it will heat up. Also in the latter part, we reduce the carbon footprint within South Africa. For the petroleum companies on a continuous basis, always have the suffering of having shortage of bitumen in the country. They have to import that. Now we have the solution for them to also have temperature storage facilities available. And one of the temperature storage that they can look at is this aspect here, importing into the country, keeping it one side. In simple sentences, I call it black diamonds. Let it stand and mature over time. In the historical side also, with the blue cycle is with the drums, which is 4 components in. With our cycling, you only will have 2 components going in there. Once again, it's reverting back to the financial part of having less time for money.
Do you know what bitumen is?
Bitumen is a component they use to make tar.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Is there a big market for it? I've never heard of it. I don't know anything about tar. Maybe you can give us a quick lesson on that.
Okay, tar is one of the key components in infrastructure buildings, development in South Africa, which is building roads. South Africa continuously, sand is one of the aspects of building roads. And then also we look at Mozambique, Zimbabwe, which is also...
Okay. So bitumen is used to make tar. Tar is used to build infrastructure in the form of roads.
Yes.
Yes. Who would buy bitumen?
The customers at the moment is the construction companies, petroleum companies, because of running short in our country itself. It is bitumen processing plants.
So is there anything else like this in the world?
Yes.
Tell me about the rest of the competitors in the world.
The rest of the competitors is only the Chinese, which is ESC. Their order book at the moment is also standing at 2 years waiting time for us as South Africans to come in.
So if you want to buy a bitumen box or a Chinese equivalent of a bitumen box,
yes,
you have to wait 2 years.
You have to wait 2 years.
And now, is your product ready to go? Have you got a ready-made prototype?
We've got 12 in the market already. It has been tested, it's been operating, and the clients have indicated letters of intent to purchase more, and some of them that have went through the process already came to purchase more.
Have you made money?
Yes.
How much?
The first 12 units we sold, our revenue was 1.3 million on that.
How much is a unit?
138,000.
And what type of infrastructure do you need?
The infrastructure at the moment that we're looking at from the global side, which have also sent letters of intent, they are asking, come to South Africa and show me what you got. It's a general engineering type of setup with Oved cranes and different technologies to come in-house, but yet is where I'm standing at the moment. I'm standing that I can project for them.
Jeff, do you know anything about this industry, by the way?
Listen, I do know that roads have to be built, and I do know that roads require tar and bitumen. Now, who manufactures the bitumen?
The bitumen is manufactured by petroleum companies. That is manufactured.
So it's not imported?
It's imported. Imported also to the extent that South Africa runs short because of the black product. It's much more cost effective to sell the white product than selling the black product. Therefore, they will import it from China, which is 20% more expensive. Then sandrails costs will go up.
What's the benefit of using yours instead of a normal container?
At the moment, how they're importing is, which is access to the market, is in drums. But once the unit is available, drums can only have a lifespan of once. So every drum, after it's finished, you must burn the drum out. And if you look at the operational process, in my unit, you have a lifespan of 7 years.
And so using less volume?
No, in my unit, you will actually have more volume. You will have about 6 tons more in my unit versus a normal container putting the drums in and getting 18 tons. So there is also advantage of getting more volume in the units.
So your cost per ton is cheaper?
Yes.
And how did you get to your numbers? You valued your business at 50 million rand. You asked us for 10 million rand, and you were willing to give us 20% of your business.
Yes.
So how did you get to that number?
60% will remain in the company for infrastructure development, operations, product development, which will then acquire different aspects of production coming through. The 40% of that money I will then give out to the shareholders for releasing of their shares.
Who are the shareholders?
Myself and my business partner, we are 50% each.
So you want 4 million to put in the pocket and 6 million for capital expansion.
Okay. 4 million not to put in a pocket. 4 million for the reward of in terms of to what stage I brought the business to at the moment in the development.
How much money did you make last year?
2.5 million.
You made profit of 2.5 million?
No.
What is your profit last year?
100,000.
Wasif.
Yes.
Khatir, you've got 1 minute to tell us about your business.
We want in the region of 5 million rand for capital expenditure in order to start the business as well, and then we're willing to give 50%.
Well, the objective is to aid the need for the increasing water demand in Africa. Throughout Africa, water is contained in aquifers, and the challenges that lies in Africa and South Africa is that to access that aquifers through drilling and the professional resources. We hire is a specialist. This is the drill that we require. It's got capacity to drill to 250 to 300 meters deep, bringing in an income of about 1,000 rand a meter, right, with a capacity to drill about 150 meters a day. Now the need for this, for the resource and the equipment, is that any document that you look today, internet, any global document that's commissioned will tell you that Africa is in a dire state of water where they require. This is the statistics that's available. Very scary statistic that in 1990, that was the projection over there. And in the dark blue line, that is projected 12 years from now. We intend to drill to access the aquifers.
Has anybody else drilled to access the aquifers?
There are companies drilling.
And are they making money?
Yes.
And what's unique about your company?
We offer turnkey solution. There is very little resources in Africa. Professional resources.
Is there a company in South Africa that drills in the aquifers? Yes.
But there's no fully owned BEE company in the country. Secondly, there's no full turnkey solution in the country in terms of providing consulting, drilling and pumping.
And how much money do you think you'll make in the first year?
In the first year, we're looking at about contracts of about between 10 and 16 million.
And who would give you the contracts?
Department of Water Affairs, Forestry, provincial government.
Have you spoken to them? Have they committed?
Yes.
Yes, no.
We're in the process of negotiating.
Have they committed?
We're in the process of negotiating.
Okay, so the answer is no. Yes? If we're going to be partners, we're going to have straight answers and straight questions. So, have they committed?
Not yet.
Not yet. You're in the process of it.
Yeah.
Have you done any deals? Have you made any money on this?
We have many clients who come to us. Unfortunately, we didn't have the infrastructure to complete the jobs. Therefore, we had to reject.
And you want 5 million rand. What are you going to do with the 5 million rand?
The 5 million rand is to buy the equipment and to cash flow operations for the first year.
What kind of equipment are you going to buy?
It's a drill, It's imported from Europe.
How much is the drill?
4.5 million.
So we drill, and then what?
So we drill, we case, we pump. From that point forward, the options are entirely up to you. You pump, then you supply either into municipal supply, or for a farmer for reticulation, or for a petroleum company.
You're getting one drill. Is one drill sufficient to run a business?
Initially, in the first 2 to 3 years, it's enough.
Are you guys generating revenue currently?
We drilled before, but not to the depth that we require.
Okay, never mind the drilling. Are you doing consulting work?
Yes.
And how much money have you earned in the consulting side?
About 3 to 4 million a annum.
Who else has drills in South Africa? Because you mentioned that you have done a bit of drilling, but you didn't go deep enough.
There's only one other company in the country that we know of. Unfortunately, they lost some technical skills in terms of the knowledge base and the people that were able to do it. So in terms of technical skills and knowledge, that's where we add value.
You?
That's right.
You're one of 5 people.
One of 5 people of color in the country.
And is that the key?
Yeah.
Is that knowledge?
I think we need to assess and see what's going on, and then we can take it further a little later.
Okay, gentlemen, so this is how it's going to work from this point. We're going to give them some time to deliberate and see if one of you or none of you is investable. If they pick one of you, you advance to negotiation stage, where if you both agree with the numbers, you might go home with the deal. What you're asking for versus what you're offering, they might change the numbers, you might change the numbers. The negotiations are negotiations. We're going to give them some time to deliberate. Investors, it's your time. Gentlemen, let's go. Gentlemen, it's always tough on the top floor. There's questions, they drill all the way, but they have to, obviously, because there's millions of rands at stake here. Let me start with you, Wasif. How do you think it went?
Look, I think it went okay. I just think that maybe they didn't sell, that the idea didn't come across, because we're selling drilling as well as a professional service. The main income is the drilling. Do
you think you gave them enough information?
I don't think so. I think maybe we need a little bit more time to fully explain the concepts and everything behind it,
But you do understand elevator pitch, you've got one time.
Elevator pitch, one time.
Ismail, how do you think it went?
I think it went well. I must say this was a little bit of space to explain exactly what is happening within the sector and the industry. Once again, it goes back to the investor in terms of the appetite. And what we must also understand when it comes to investment, any investor would rather want to invest in a resource, because when you look at the investment, he would like to sit outside and get the return on his revenue. Yeah. And that's exactly what all of us is offering specifically, because we've got skill.
Mengwageng ye 23 fela Masego Maponyane o atlegile go tše dintši bele ka rakgwebo potlana.
I've been so lucky to have gone through a lot of moments of real dips and possible failures, but I never look at anything as a low light or a failure, because you always come out the other side having learned so much more, and you just really nail it the next time. I think the most amazing thing I've learned from everything is really just the experience, and always walked away thinking of how I can just improve and do better, more and more steps towards wanting to be the best I could possibly be in that field.
Go botlhokwa ga kang go ba le business plan.
It's really important that you show and convince those that you want to attract into your business that you've got it all thought out. This is this and this and this and this and this. And if it doesn't work out, then, just like, I guess it just wasn't the right product, or we weren't doing it in this way. And you can go back to the drawing board and give it another shot.
Interesting group of guys. I think, in my opinion, very experienced, understand their business intimately, extremely passionate, have identified opportunities in both their markets. Very different to what we've seen, because this is big capex type projects, something that South Africa really needs. I think they both definitely have got potential. I do believe that while Ishmael really has something to offer, I think his valuation is completely pie in the sky. And if 50 million rand valuation and they're looking to take 20 million rand off the table, I think that's a no-go. But if one could really, massage that into something that's palatable, there's something there to consider. In terms of the water project, I think Wasif and Nathir have definitely got something there. I think they made it quite clear that they are BE first in the market. We know that there's a huge opportunity for infrastructure and water in Africa, South Africa, and I think that there's something there as well.
Jeff, this is why I love this show. You never know what you're going to get, from IT companies to production companies to social media companies. And today we've got two industrial companies presenting industrial ideas. I like the guys. The guys are experienced, like you say. They really are fulfilling the need for infrastructure in South Africa. Both ideas really do make sense in terms of the carbon footprint and in terms of water renewability. All in all, two quite interesting players. I do have a concern around the valuations, as you said. I must say, as an investor, big alarm bells sound when the person that you invest in says they're going to put money in their pocket.
I agree.
Call me conservative, but when there are things that I really know so little about, I get very nervous. Not because it's not a good business, but because I don't know enough about it. These are high capex businesses. This is just the beginning. Both of these businesses, and they're exciting, don't get me wrong. They're exciting. I want to learn more about these industries. I know there's a need. Will they fulfill the need? Are they entirely unique?
Listen, both of these are capex-based businesses. If there is a need for it and there's a business case that stands behind it, it is worth considering. I do believe that it requires lots of due diligence, and it's very, very difficult to make a decision on a show like this and just commit these large amounts of capital to something without having done due diligence.
So simple question. Assuming both of them valued their business at something that you believed was realistic. So apples for apples, which business excites you more?
For me, I like both the jockeys. I like both their business models. I just don't like one of the valuations.
All right, gentlemen, we are one step closer. This is the moment where they're going to reveal if they found any of you or none of you investable. Let me remind you, they can only choose one. And if they choose you, it doesn't mean a deal yet. You go into negotiations. And then, if you agree with the numbers, then you have a deal. Investors?
Welcome back, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You sure didn't make our lives easy.
We have a headache.
Thank you.
In the past few minutes, we developed a headache, all of us.
Yeah, water is important.
To get the water to the people, you need roads and infrastructure to attain it.
So we should invest in both of you. Can we do that?
Unfortunately, you can't.
Jeff?
Very difficult decision, gents. Two competent businesses, infrastructure, high valuations, technical, and that's the difficult part. They're very, very technical.
I like you guys, but I'm scared of the big numbers and the big technical side to both these businesses.
There are pros and cons to each business. The pros and cons, the pros of your business are that you can export this thing and that you've got a patent and it seems that you've got something unique. The pros to your business is that you guys, you seem to know what you're talking about and you seem to be able to line up the contracts. So both businesses, very, very, very interesting, and you haven't made our decision very easy.
Either way, and we like both businesses, we would need to throw huge loot at the problem. I don't know if we've got the appetite for something like that. We're looking onto Jeff, and Jeff's saying go for both, but do your DD.
Yeah. As your advisor, I would say it would really be wrong to make a snap decision without doing your due diligence, without understanding environmental issues, without understanding the numbers, the cash flows, the forecasts.
But Jeff, we've got to make a decision here tonight.
I think it would be really, really, I'd say foolish, if I could use that word, to invest without investing time, energy and effort, due diligence in understanding both these businesses. I think what they're offering is fantastic, but in terms of the type of businesses they are, you need time. You need to research before you can make a snap decision.
Ishmael, are you willing to talk different numbers? I mean, you asked for 10 million for 20%. You mentioned that of the 10 million, 4 million is going to go into your back pockets for getting the business to where you guys got there today. I'm going to ask you two questions.
Yes.
Number one, are you willing to not take the 4 million and put it into your pocket until the business makes money?
Can I reverse your question in terms of asking what are you willing to put on the table?
We're not negotiating.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'm willing to discuss that openly.
On your side.
We're going to say? I wanted to discuss it openly, specifically in relation with the job that we can create up to 1,000 work.
Wasif, Hatir, are you guys willing to discuss only investing on the back of a contract?
Yes.
Hasn't made our decision any easier.
No, it's made it harder. Okay, here's the deal. We have good news and we have bad news for both of you. The good news is we want to invest behind you both.
The bad news is that we're going to have to take some time after the show to do some real due diligence or some real research on both of your industries. And unfortunately, that deal isn't going to happen tonight.
So let me get this right. In principle, you are interested in both businesses. You want to do the DD. Should you like what you see, then you go into negotiations.
Yes,
yeah, off the top floor, obviously.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. With both.
Will you still be willing to invest what they're asking for?
No.
No, we are willing to put as much money as they're asking for, but I'm not sure that we're going to give 10 million for 20%. In fact, I can tell you for sure we're not.
So we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be straight.
Yeah. Are we willing to put 5 million for 50%? That number sounds more plausible.
Especially because it's asset backed.
Yeah. So having said that, we can't shake hands here and now. We're interested in investing in both your businesses, which is great news, because to be on a show where you get two opportunities and you're not even sure which one to invest in is fantastic. Yeah. And we'd like to hold on to our money until we've done the research.
Interesting decision on the top floor. This is obviously a pending decision, but it's a good one eventually, because if they're interested in doing due diligence in your businesses, it means that you're on the right track, and obviously there will be a future for both of you. But the main thing, what excites me, is that your products or your companies, your services that you offer are not only going to cash in numbers for yourselves, but are going to change the lives of millions and millions of Africans, the entire continent. Gentlemen, I'll say congratulations pending, obviously. And as Ran said, we can't shake hands at this stage, but obviously there's some kind of positivity that we can work on. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, and all of the best. You may exit.
I feel ecstatic. It's very good for fellow South Africans, for myself as an entrepreneur, engineer, and really as an individual that is out there trying to form a platform for fellow entrepreneurs. I will really not disappoint the investors, as well as I feel confident that the investors will add value, specifically with the decision of taking both opportunities together.
I feel quite excited in terms of the possibilities. I know they're going to do due diligence and try to understand our business, but Wasif and I were talking and he says we can only go up from here, so I'm feeling quite positive.
Rikobathakanisa kambenya mishumo yashu Rize Mzansi siselapha ke mntasekhaya etop floor. Ndikhumbuze into bana before the break sibonile amaqelo amabini apha uIsmail Wasif and Kharifa bathe mamelana asizonika idile kwangoku kodwa ke si-interested sinomdla kule nto niyenzayo nobabini, so into abazayenza bazakwazi uya kubo bazokwazi ufunda nzulu ngale nto bayenzayo kubo, and then uba bayayithanda ke bazawuba nedeal ke asizoyazi thina ngelo xesha, but we can only hope for the best for them. Kukhona ke abanye abazawungena ngokababini abathi nathi bethunani sinazi ideas ezi-brilliant, sifuna nje uncedo, sifuna imali, sifuna ulwazi olunzulu uba sikhulise amashishini wethu. Before sibangenise apha etop floor, masike sibone uba bathi nansi ntoni na. Lona nguMichael owaqala iSmart Jug.
It's a jug that has two functionalities. One is that it can work as a normal jug, it's currently available on the market, and secondly, it can be used to measure and mix different liquids.
Zeziphi ingxaki uMichael adibana nazo kwishishini lakhe?
It's been having to change the perception that a product can only be invented by big companies, and also having to use your own personal funds to get ahead.
Ifamily nezihlobo zikaMichael bacinga ntoni ngaye?
My family and friends, they admire that I have passion for business, and they recognize the effort I've put into starting my business, and they will definitely use the Smart Jug.
Lona ngu-Ian we-Rocket 3.0. Yintoni kanye kanye le?
It's a portable vibration speaker, so anything that touches that object becomes the speaker itself. I've loved trying to start new things, coming up with new ideas, things like that. That's always just been my passion, and this has been probably the biggest one so far.
U-Ian uqhutywa yintoni mihla ngemihla?
Like, I have to believe in myself and the dream to become an entrepreneur does count a lot.
I think Ian will do well in top floor because it's really good to sell a product, and I think with his personality he'll do a good job there.
Gentlemen, Ian, Michael, welcome to the top floor.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is one moment that could change your lives forever. So which means you have to give it your best shot. This is how it's going to work. They want to give you a minute each to pitch and ask you a few questions, obviously, to clarify whatever product or service you're offering. Then, if they like what they're hearing, only one of you or none of you will advance into negotiation stage, where you'll then, if you're lucky, clinch a deal with the investors. Umcimbi, good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome to the top floor, guys.
Thank you.
You've got 1 minute, and I think we should start on our right. Michael, give us your 1 minute sales pitch.
My business name is Innovation Warehouse. I'm here hoping to get an investment of 700,000 for my smart jug. I'm willing to give away 50%, sir.
Just for the smart jug or for Innovation Warehouse? What are we investing in?
Innovation Warehouse is a business that's all about innovation. We think of simple products, we develop them, and we partner with retailers to sell and market them to the consumers. The 800,000...
No, it's a 700.
The 700,000 that I need is for the smart jug. So basically, the 50% is for the smart jug. But any other product that you invest in the business, I will give you 50% for that as well. Okay, basically, as you can see on the picture, we've taken a simple jug, we've divided it into 3 sections. That's for when you want to separately measure different liquids, when you want to mix. It's perfect for making cocktails and concentrate juice. But basically, what I need you to remember about the smart jug is 3 things. 1 is that it's going to save you money. 2 is going to give you consistency. And thirdly, it can still do everything else that can be done by a normal jug. This is the jug. I've basically done this prototype myself. On the concentrate, it says the mixing ratio is 1:3. So basically, my idea is to make sure customers do exactly that when they're making their juice. I'm going to add 200 millimeter of my Oros, and then I'll add 600 of my water. Once you're happy with your 2 measurements, then all you do, you take the lid, which is leakage proof, and it's got a spout on top. So which means your jug, you can take it and turn it upside down. As you can see, on our patent, there are 2 options. It's either you can take this out once you're happy with your measurements, or I've left just enough gap between the mouth of the jug and the separator for the 3 different liquids to mix. As you can see, the Oros is mixing.
Very smart.
Very smart.
What other ideas do you have?
Basically, I've got about 4 ideas at the moment.
Show us.
And basically what this is a public toilet sachet. So what you have here, you've got a liquid hand soap antibacterial, and then you've got a tissue, a 30 plier tissue. So the idea is that when you walk to a public toilet and you find no soap or no tissue, you've got this in your pocket, and if you're not happy about the quality of that, you can still use this as an option as well. The second product I have, as you can see there, is a handbag combination lock and bag case. So what you do with this product, you take it, you put it inside your bag, it protects all your valuables and all your private items.
Who comes up with all these ideas?
I came up with them myself, sir.
Ian, over to you.
My name's Ian Joy. I'm studying accounting at Tufts, University of Pretoria. I'm asking for 2.84 million rand investment for 40% equity stake in my company. My product is from Origadio. It's the portable speaker industry, and their biggest product at the moment is the Rocket 3.0, which is the simpler device. This is a portable vibration speaker, which can turn literally anything into a speaker. So, for example, if I just start playing, you'll hear slight sound coming from the device, but I attach it to something like, and it amplifies the sound of that. I take it off this, and if you have a box lying around, the polystyrene box works the best, and you attach it, the box itself becomes the speaker. Take it off. No matter what you attach it to, the hollower the object, the better the sound quality, the better the performance of the speaker.
But we've seen this before. I've seen this before, vibration
speakers, yeah.
Type speakers. It's not a new thing.
It's not a brand new thing, no, but there's nothing like it currently on the market in South Africa.
Is this your idea, or is this an international product?
This is an international product. I have the sole agency for it in Southern Africa.
And what are the terms of the agency agreement? How many do you have to sell? When does it run out?
At the moment, it's going to run out in 6 months' time until I I'm able to place a large enough order, and then they'll extend it.
How big is a large enough order?
They say about 5,000 units.
How many have you sold thus far?
I've sold none yet.
None. How long have you had it for?
I've only had one. I haven't had the capital to bring in quantities to start it off. So I'm just, as a startup company, I bought myself one, and I'm trying to get it out there now.
And where did you get the number of 2.84 million?
50%, 1.417 is for the first batch of product to order. That's 15,000 units. Then I've broken it down. I have an additional amount of 5,000 in case repayment from the retail stores doesn't come to us to order additional.
But why 15,000? Why not order 1,000 and see if there's a market for it in South Africa?
Because the idea is to implement it into a retail store on consignment stock.
On consignment?
On consignment.
That's a sure way to lose money. And how sure are you that there's nothing that's exactly the same on the market?
I would say 85%.
Not good enough.
Now you're a student, right?
Yes, I'm a student.
So which one are you doing? Studying or working? Are you a business?
Full-time studying.
Full-time studying?
Yeah.
So you want our money to run a business while you full-time study?
That's correct.
Jeff, what do you think?
Ian, have been in the import business myself. Being a one-product line business is very, very dangerous.
This isn't just a one-product line. There are other Oved audio products that are also on the portable speaker industry.
Without going into the details, so that in itself is, you are also getting an agency that's subject to you achieving certain volumes. You own no IP. Tomorrow, if a bigger distributor or a retailer went direct there and they managed to promise bigger volumes, how safe is your agency? That you're a student and that you are not giving your full time and attention to this product worries me. I also think that a 2.8 million rand for a startup business for importing, where you don't really have to carry stock, because really what you could do is back-to-back deals, it worries me as well. In turn, Michael, I think you're innovative. I think you've come up with some nice ideas. I would, as the advisor to Run and Gill, I would again suggest that they wouldn't invest into one product, is that they would actually consider looking at the basket of products. I do know that they're coming out of, let's say, the marketing business and having long-term and deep relationships with retailers and understanding distribution, that, that they could add value to it.
Yes, I think what we need to do is deliberate between us, and hopefully with our deliberations and some of Jeff's advice, we'll be able to make a decision.
So gentlemen, we're going to give them time to deliberate this one set. It's very simple. We're going to have to leave the top floor and give them some time to deliberate. Let's go. Yeah, how do you think it went?
I thought it was quite tough. They asked hard questions and they really put me through my paces. I'm just hoping for the best now,
I think I was able to explain the product. I had enough time. I was worried about time. I may not have enough time to explain the products.
Very different deliberation to what we had a little earlier. Just to sum up, we have Ian, who has Rize Audio. It's a distribution business. He's valuing the business at around about 7 million rand. He's never sold one item. He's got to hit various numbers before he gets this agency. The margins do seem appealing, but then again, he's got no infrastructure. But most of all, he's a student.
He doesn't have anything here. We're going to be chasing our tails, trying to sell thousands of units, and we're never going to be good enough. And one day, Rize Audio, if we make them enough money, will say, you know what, thanks very much, we'll do it ourselves. He's a student. At 2 in the morning, when he wakes up in the middle of the night, what's he thinking about? His exam? Or about how he's going to sell more units?
When we started working, the two of us, we were full-time students, and we made full-time studying and full-time employment or full-time work. We made it work. So it's not the student part that worries me. What worries me is, here's a guy with no experience who wants to import 15,000 of the same item. He has no retail experience in selling it. He doesn't have any IP. And like you said, one day, Rize Audio will come to South Africa.
I think he should pursue this. I think this is great. This is typical entrepreneurship. I back it all the way. Like Rand said, been there, done that. this can turn into something big one day in a different guise, in a different environment. If I were him, I'd go to China, find the source, brand it myself.
With a flag on the logo.
Sure, South African flag, you know, for an extra couple of cents.
Yeah. Let's move on to Michael. Michael, your typical airy-fairy, dreamy inventor?
I think that he's got passion. The talent, I don't know, he's showing us a drug which is may or may not work. I know that if I want to mix my Oros, I'm quite used to putting it into the proportion.
But are you doing it in the right ratios?
No, I'm saying it's so listen, maybe when you do it in bulk, it is something for that story.
Would you buy a jug? Would you spend more money on a jug that mixes the Oros for you?
No, I wouldn't. But
Gil,
I think
would you do it?
what he did too, he says that you can take out that mixer and then you have a normal jug. So this is actually just an accessory to the jug. So it's a jug with an accessory.
Jeff, would you buy a jug with an accessory?
I don't know, but if it depends on what the price would be. But would I invest 700,000 Rand for 50% in a jug? No.
Guys, let's hang 10. What are we investing in? Him. A guy who has a few wacky ideas and has never sold one product in the retail space ever.
I like him. I want to take a chance on people like him. See what he's got to offer. Help him, mentor him, fund him a bit. Maybe.
Michael needs time. You guys are going to have to invest time and energy into Michael to put him into the right place. Have you got the time to work with him?
But Jeff, if people like us don't invest in people like him, we're going to be nowhere in this country.
No, I accept it. No, you have to back the jockey. That's my biggest motivation, is backing the team, backing the jockey. And Michael seems, a type of talented guy who's got quite passionate, and he's got some ideas. A decision you guys will have to make.
Gentlemen, the moment has arrived. We get to hear if one of you, or perhaps none of you, the investors found investable. Investors?
I think there's a difference between businesses that are good for the business owner and simply not good for investors necessarily. And then there are businesses that are good for investors and business owners. Run.
Ian, do you think that your business is good for investors?
I think it is good for investors.
Why?
An investor always looks for the return on his investment. That's what their aim is. And as soon as this business and these products that are coming to market, if you go mass market, the profits become massive. This is what the return comes down to for you.
But at huge risk.
It is a huge risk because of the market space and the competition.
And that you don't actually own anything.
This is true, yes.
And that the person who's running your business is going to be writing exams every time November comes around. And at the same time, that's when the stores are going to be ordering for Christmas. I want to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
Have you ever sold a product into retail before? Do you know what it's like to deal with retailers? Do you think that they'll accept your stock with open arms on consignment?
I've never sold on to retailer, and I have done the research, and a lot of people say it's cutthroat business. The retail company always wants too much from the business, from the product.
So before we make a decision, can I maybe give you a little bit of advice?
Sure.
Maybe you should take your product to some of the retailers.
All right.
Find out if there's an interest. Ask them how many they'd be interested in stocking.
Okay.
Before you go out and buy 15,000 units at a cost of 1.417 million.
All right.
Isn't that a little bit? I mean, you're studying accounting, so you should know the prudence principle.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yes, sir.
Why not take your concept to a mass retailer, show them your product and ask them to place an order first before you go and raise 700,000 Rand for the development of it?
So basically what they have told me is that as South African retailers, they don't get involved in the nitty details of whatever, but they will find a finished product. So basically what I should do, I should bring them a sample of a product that works exactly as it will work when it's on the shelf. And I need to come up with a price structure for that. So basically those were their requirements. But they said that once that's done, then I can bring it back to them.
We've made a decision. I want to tell you what it's based on. People like you, both of you, are what makes South Africa great. Entrepreneurs just trying to make it. Some guy who studied IT and decided he wants to create a smart jug. A student who, while studying, is trying to take over the world with audios, speakers. This is great. This is how we started our business. It's probably how 95% of entrepreneurs started their businesses. But here's the deal. This could be both great businesses for you guys and could one day become a very investable business. Great for the business owner right now. Not good for the investors.
Neither of your businesses are investable at the moment. Your business, it's not safe for investors. All right? You're a full-time student. You're dealing with a company where you don't have good contracts, where they can come into the country tomorrow. I've seen this happen many, many times. International companies find local distributors, and as soon as a local distributor builds up the sales to a certain level, they don't renew the distribution contract, and they come in and they take over. And I've seen this happen many, 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 many times. So you got to watch out for that. That's not a risk that we want to take as investors. Michael, we like you. You got some unbelievable ideas, but there's nothing that we can invest in.
We wanted to invest in you, but it's just too risky right now. Our advice to both of you is carry on keeping on, and believe it or not, if you do this, things will come right. But as far as we're concerned, we're out.
Gentlemen, that's the decision. Before you go, let me just check with our advisor if you've got any words of advice to our...
My advice is to the guys, keep on going, put your head down, and you're on the right track, and something will come of it. It just doesn't mean that today that you didn't raise the money that you must stop. You must keep on going. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I wish you both best of luck.
Gentlemen, I also have to just wish you all the best of luck, and as Ron said and Gil said, you are the kind of people that make South Africa a great country that we have, and all the best. You can exit. Ukhumuleke mntasekhaya uvile advice elula kuthiwa keep on keeping on. Nantoni na uyicingayo apho khoyo khona mhlawumbi wena uyazi uba kuwe qha uyicinga kwelo xesha, kodwa the most important thing into yobana uqhubeke ungahlali uthi hayi mhlawumbi ngenye imini kukhona umsamari endizawudibana naye andiphe imali andiphe nolwazi olunzulu. Ndiyandithanda bona nje. Good night.
They did bash me about being a student, but as they said, keep on keeping on, and that's what I'm going to do. So it might have been a loss today, but you never know what comes in the future.
Obviously, I was hoping to get the deal, but I will continue getting a prototype and going to retailers and trying to get funding from other institutions.